to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down.
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared
to
to
do that.
specifically?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
Joining me now is Candace Owens, founder of the Blexit Movement and author of Blackout. Candace, I guess being against white supremacy and saying, of course, I'm for peace. That question has been asked and answered 1,000 times, yet the press obsesses over it when they can't challenge him on his results.
I'm going to be honest with you, Laura. When I saw this trending again today, calling Trump a white supremacist, them using the expressions, it's a dog whistle for white supremacy, as a black American, I have to say this, I'm now bored. I'm bored with the DNC. I'm bored with their repeat strategy. First, they lost me. They lost me as a person who actually once thought I supported this party. They lost me, then they frustrated me, and now I'm just plain bored. How many more times can we keep hearing them say the exact same thing? They're running the exact same play that they ran in 2016, here again in 2020. We get it. Trump, you're saying, is a white supremacist, unfounded claims. All of his followers are horrible, deplorable people, unfounded claims. When are they going to move on and actually start debating the topics that Americans care about and stop with this foolishness that is rooted in complete and utter lies about the president? Black Americans are just not this foolish. It's exhausting. They could say anything else about him, and I'd find it interesting. Accuse him of being a werewolf. Accuse him of being Dracula. I am bored with hearing that Trump is dog whistling for white supremacists. It's not true.
I can't remember if it was Tucker who said this, but if Trump's a racist, he's the worst racist ever because he does all this great stuff and has, criminal justice reform, enterprise zones, opportunity zones. Then he does the, great unemployment numbers and so forth. So he's the worst racist ever. But I have to go back to something you and I have discussed before, speaking of board, but it's it's touchstone for him. He launched his campaign supposedly on Trump's purported praise of the white supremacists and Nazis in Charlottesville. So it's so well worn out that Biden, of course, splattered it all over the screen again last night.
Close your eyes. Remember what those people look like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, just spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides.
Candace, that's been debunked so many times. How do they keep getting away with this lie?
It makes me want to yawn. And by the way, can we just talk about Joe Biden and his record? This is a man who said his mentor and best friend, and he eulogized him at a funeral, was Robert Byrd, the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. So please don't play this game, Joe Biden, because he will lose, and he will lose quickly. I wish Trump had responded to this foolishness during the debates last night by hitting Joe Biden on all of this stuff. Yeah. Joe Biden has an abhorrent record on race. You know that. I know that. He was pro-segregation. He did call black Americans super predators. We need to unearth that clip. I don't know why nobody is holding him accountable for that stuff. He said that we wanted to be segregation. He said black Americans preferred to be segregated, and that it was what we wanted. He fought for that in the Senate at the same time that he was authoring, which Trump accurately called him out on, the 1994 crime bill. So this is all just so ridiculous.
Yeah, well, Trump hit him on the super predators comment, but I think it needs to be teased out a little bit longer. And the critical race theory issue, which I think a lot of Americans are just beginning to understand what it really means now. Kamala Harris, after the debate, she runs to MSNBC, of course, to hit Trump for wanting to cancel this hateful critical race theory. Watch.
Donald Trump is not pretending to be anything other than what he is. Someone who is getting rid of training of federal employees around the issue of race and the need to be aware of implicit bias. It's not a dog whistle. Literally, he's talking through a bullhorn.
Candace.
What we need to see on the Republican side is people need to actually educate Americans about what critical race theory is. You know what it is. I know what it is. Honestly, what Democrats are doing with what they do best, they're attempting to re-segregate society like they did in the past. They're attempting to make black people and white people hate one another, as well as hate the country that they live in. I am personally strongly against critical race theory. It has nothing to do with empathizing or sympathizing for black people. It is about anger. It is a Marxist ideology that they are trying to now put into classrooms and put into the workplace, and it is wrong. And Trump is right to speak out against it.